Hey friends, good morning. How's everyone doing today? Well, I believe you're going to be watching this on Saturday morning at 7 a.m., which is when I normally would do a weekly garden walk and talk. But I'm going to skip this week only because not much has changed in the garden. It's really sunny today, but all week it's been basically overcast, 60 to 65 degrees, no rain, so everything almost looks exactly the same. And even those late tulips in the driveway garden haven't even bloomed yet. So instead of showing you that, I filmed a vlog for you this week, which features some garden maintenance, some baking, and my first flower stand setup of the year. So without further ado, I'm going to show you that vlog, and I'll see you back next Saturday, definitely for our weekly garden walk and talk, and I'm going to throw in a Q&A on that tour also. But for now, let's rewind the clock and I'll show you the vlog that I shot earlier this week. So we're back to present day, friends. It's currently Friday, the day before you'll be watching this. I thought I would share with you my favorite books on growing and cultivating tulips, whether or not they come back, which ones come back, because there's a really great new book that came out on tulips and some old ones that are worth checking out from the library too. I really do wish that there was more books dedicated to tulips, and maybe they're out there and I just haven't read them yet. So please let me know if you know of other books that are just dedicated completely to growing tulips and all about them. But this one, The Tulip Garden by Polly Nicholson, I believe this just came out and it's so, so good. I kind of wish the cover was different. I wish it had a high gloss picture as the cover because I feel like it would sell a little bit better if it did. But once I cracked open the cover and saw what was inside, not only are the pictures beautiful, but the information is so incredibly helpful. So she's going to cover species tulips, which are the ones that are going to come back the most reliably. The Dutch historic tulips, oh, that's the collection that she holds, the Dutch Historic Collection, I think. English florist tulips, annual tulips, and she also provides lists of cultivars that she recommends, ones that are good perennials in her area. She also goes into storing some of the tulips dry over the summer, which I saw was a question, and she does this only with her historic collection tulips. But this is a great book. I would highly recommend it. Hopefully it'll start to appear at your local library so you can grab a copy. I'm thinking I paid maybe $30 for this book, but it was well worth it. I'm sure I'll read it multiple times. Now the next one I'm going to recommend is Color Your Garden by Jacqueline van der Kloot. Anything by Jacqueline van der Kloot is going to be amazing when it comes to bulbs. She's really the queen of bulb combinations. Her work has been featured far and wide. Her books are very easy to read, understand, and digest. And I think if you're looking for a lot of brief information on a lot of different kinds of bulbs, her books are really, really appealing because she really covers all the bulbs that are out there on the market and then gives you, I would say, maybe 3 to 4 pages on each bulb, the right way to plant them, the right place, recommended cultivars. But what I think she's really best at is talking about bulb combinations in the garden. So whether you get this book, which should be really inexpensive, or some of her other books, which are a little bit more expensive, she's just great all around when it comes to bulbs. This is Sarah Raven's new book, A Year Full of Pots. And this book really interested me because I think what I want to do next year is way more pots, inspired, of course, by the always fabulous Sarah Raven. But Sarah's books are so wonderful and they really speak to my heart. The photography is beautiful, her writing is beautiful, she's just full of so much knowledge. And I think what I want to do next year is I want my displays to be all in pots so that it's less labor for me moving forward. I'm only getting older, I'm approaching 40, and I'm really ready to transition to some more sustainable ways of doing things as I get older. And then I know I've recommended this book before, A Year Full of Flowers, and she has a section in this book that's just all about tulips. And this book, A Year Full of Flowers, is probably one of my favorite books on cut flowers. The combinations that she uses, the practical advice, just reading through the timeline of an entire year in her cut flower garden is so incredibly helpful. But we're talking about tulips, so she goes into her favorite cultivars. And some people were asking me about the tulips that return most reliably in my garden. Number one is any species tulip, but they flower and go over quite quickly for me here in Pennsylvania. This one, Exotic Emperor, which is a Fosteriana tulip, comes back reliably, and it comes back pretty much just as big as you get from your Holland supplier that first year. Because of course that first year it's just pumped full of what the grower has been giving it for years over in Holland. And then in subsequent years, you're seeing basically the daughter bulbs. Well, friends, thanks so much for spending some time out here in the garden with me and Grace over the last few days. I'd love to hear about your tulip book recommendations, and we will definitely be back to our weekly garden walk and talk next week. As you can see, things just look exactly the same as they did last week. So for now, I want to wish you a fabulous day out there in your gardens, and I'll see you sometime soon. Bye.